Patrick Mahomes' season is over, and sadly, the Kansas City Chiefs' season is over. So we're gonna watch a quick little microphone video about it. Flight Mike, and if you watch on the basketball side, let's get into it.
I told you that the Chiefs' playoff hopes were hanging by a thread, that their season was on life support. Well, I need you to sit down for this one, because what just happened at Arrowhead Stadium is somehow worse than anything we could have predicted. The Kansas City Chiefs are officially eliminated from the playoffs. It's the first time since 2014, the first time in the entire Patrick Mahomes era. But that's not even the headline, because late in the fourth quarter, with under 2 minutes left, trying desperately to lead a comeback against the Chargers, Patrick Mahomes went down. He grabbed his left knee, stayed on the turf for what felt like forever, and then had to be helped off the field with a towel over his head. The MRI came back and it confirmed every Chiefs fan's worst nightmare: a torn ACL. Season over. And here's the real question that nobody wants to ask: could this affect next year too? Let me show you Mahomes' tweet right after his diagnosis. Mahomes wrote, "Don't know why this had to happen, and not going to lie, it hurts. But all we can do right now is trust in God and attack every single day over and over again. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom, for always supporting me, and for everyone who has reached out and sent prayers. I will be back. I will be back." Those are 3 words that every Kansas City Chiefs fan is clinging to right now. But here's the thing: ACL tears for quarterbacks aren't what they used to be, and we're going to break down exactly what this means for Mahomes, for this franchise, and for the entire AFC, because what you're witnessing right now might be the single darkest moment in the history of the Chiefs dynasty.
I do want to point out, I'm a big Patrick Mahomes guy. I just think he's dope at football. I've torn my ACL, so I know it's not a fun process, but, I'm not a superhuman like Patrick Mahomes is. So I'm really genuinely, as a Texans fan, I know we probably joked about, we killed the Chiefs, blah, blah, blah. I really do hope that he's back, because when Patrick Mahomes is playing football, typically it's some good football being played. So just want to add.
Let's get to it. Real quick before we get to the content, just a brief announcement. Today,
I don't want to hear nothing. He's getting into his ad situation. Let's talk about it.
Patrick Mahomes had the worst game of his career in that one. 14 of 33, 3 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, a 19.8 passer rating, the lowest numbers he's ever posted as a starter. And now they're hosting the Chargers in what everyone knew was a must-win. Not a nice-to-have situation, an actual mathematical must-win situation. And the Chiefs actually started this game looking like the Chiefs. Mahomes opened the drive with a beautiful 12-yard scramble into the end zone on the opening drive. Harrison Butker added a field goal, then another one, and suddenly Kansas City was up 13-3 with 38 seconds left before halftime. The crowd at Arrowhead was back into it. You could feel the energy. This was the team that had won 3 Super Bowls, making another late season push. And then the Chargers reminded everyone why Jim Harbaugh's team is 10-4 and headed to the playoffs. Justin Herbert, playing with a broken left hand by the way, put together a quick 60-yard touchdown drive right before the half. Keandre Lambert-Smith caught his first career touchdown, and just like that, the Chargers were back in it. Cameron Dicker tied it in the third quarter, then put LA ahead with a 49-yarder in the fourth. 16-13 Chargers with the clock winding down. Now here's where it gets brutal. The Chiefs had chances, multiple chances. Dion Henley picked off Mahomes at the 1-yard line on what would have been a go-ahead score.
That interception was crazy.
Henley picked off Mahomes at the 1-yard line.
My God, he was catching the fade. That was
on what would have been a go-ahead score. The defense forced a punt, and with about 2 minutes left, down 3 points, Patrick Mahomes had the ball with a chance to at least send this thing into overtime. Just after the 2-minute warning, on 1st and 10, from the Chargers' 46-yard line, everything changed. Mahomes rolled out to his right, trying to extend the play like he's done 1,000 times before. Deshaun Hand got a hold of him, and as Mahomes tried to throw the ball away, his left knee bent awkwardly. He went down immediately, clutching his knee, screaming in pain. The play didn't even count. There was a holding penalty on Chu Godric, but none of that mattered. Mahomes stayed on the turf for what felt like an eternity as teammates kneeled around him. He eventually got up, walked off under his own power, went to the medical tent, and then that image. Mahomes with a towel draped over his head, being helped down the tunnel by 2 trainers. Gardner Minshew came in, threw 3 completions to move the ball to field goal range, and then threw a game-ending interception to Derwin James. Chiefs lose 16-13. Season over, and somehow that loss isn't even the worst part of the day. Andy Reid stepped up to the podium after the game looking like he'd aged 10 years in 3 hours. When reporters asked him about Mahomes' injury, Reid didn't sugarcoat it.
All right, as far as the injuries go, Patrick hurt his left knee. We'll get an MRI tomorrow or this evening whenever they get him in there.
Then came 4 words that made every Chiefs fan's stomach drop. It didn't look good. About an hour later, ESPN's Adam Schefter confirmed what everyone feared. The Chiefs released an official statement. An MRI confirmed that Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes has sustained a torn ACL in his left knee. Patrick and the club are currently exploring surgical options. Here's what makes this even more concerning. Mahomes has had knee issues before. He dislocated his right kneecap back in 2019 against the Broncos. Remember that? His knee bent completely the wrong way, and
if I'm not mistaken, this is the first year they won the Super Bowl, right? So like it goes set a year, sits a year. Oh no, 2018 is MVP year. 2019 he misses it but still makes it to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Somehow he came back 2 weeks later, but this is different. This is his left knee. This is a full ACL tear, and according to multiple sources, he'd been dealing with discomfort in that knee all season long. So here's the question that everyone's asking. Will Patrick Mahomes be ready for week 1 of 2026? The honest answer—
y'all comment down below. Again, ACL, when I had my ACL, I know y'all ain't asking about things and what he has to do, but mine was, it was a 9-month timetable. Right, and I tore mine at like the 3rd game of high school season. I was ready to rock and roll first week. And like I was lucky that because I got to play in the spring football and I got to play in the summer, I got all the jitters. If you ever had a serious injury, comment down below. You know what it means. There's a mental aspect that's probably even bigger than the physical aspect because shout out to my physical trainers and everybody. But, whenever that happens, you have a really good track of like, all right, hey, your body's going to be here. Your strength's going to be here. You can retest your strength. Hey, I'm squatting similar numbers. I'm doing all that stuff. But it's the mental aspect of I'm about to go out here with this, at the time I had a, knee brace. And, in a game of football where when you play football, you never play thinking you're going to get injured. If you do, football is not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never because I've been playing tackle football since I was in elementary school. So I have been playing for such a long time. I never thought about even thinking about getting injured. That just never crossed my mind. So you play the game differently. It's a lot more recklessness and a lot of whatever. But that was my only major injury. Besides I had a concussion. But other than that, so coming back from that injury though, it was something that was like lingering, and you starts off with a fear of somebody like falling on it, and then it's like, all right, well, can I cut right? Can I really put the full power into it? It's such a mental thing, especially with knees and stuff like that. I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is gonna be able to get through it, but it is a major hurdle when you have to deal with an injury this major.
Answer is, it's gonna be a very close call. A torn ACL that requires surgery typically has an 8 to 12 month recovery timeline. Week 1 of 2026 would be right around 8 to 9 months from now. That's an absolute aggressive end of the recovery window. Now, before Chiefs fans completely spiral, let me give you some historical context that might help you sleep at night. Tom Brady famously tore his ACL and MCL in week 1 of the 2008 season against the Chiefs. Ironically enough, he was 31 years old at the time. The next season, he came back and led the Patriots to a 10-6 record. The following year, he won MVP. And oh, by the way, he went on to win 4 more Super Bowls after that ACL tear. ACL surgery and rehabilitation has come a long way since 2008. The procedures are more advanced. The rehab protocols are better understood, and the success rate for quarterbacks returning to full form is actually pretty encouraging. Brady surgeon Dr. Neil Elatrash pioneered a lot of the techniques that are now standard, and modern quarterbacks like Carson Wentz, who tore his ACL in December of 2017, was back on the field for week 3 of the following season. Though in Carson Wentz's case, he wasn't quite the same. But here's the thing that should give Chiefs fans some hope. Mahomes
Sorry, I was muted. I want to add a caveat here. Carson Wentz, and I was a big Carson Wentz believer when he was going crazy. Obviously, North Dakota State, the story, it was great. He plays a different brand of football. Now, Patrick Mahomes plays an insane brand of football, but the thing about Patrick Mahomes is he doesn't really have to. Like, he has the arm talent and ability that he doesn't need to make everything extend. He doesn't need to throw sideways throws, and he's starting to get into age where, all right, let's start to settle it down a little bit. Let's go to the more Aaron Rodgers where, hey, I only move the pocket if I need to move the pocket. I only need to use my legs when I need to. It felt like Patrick Mahomes was running more than he ever had, at least in the regular season. And, y'all know Patrick Mahomes in the playoff, he get busy with his legs. But, in the middle of the season, him doing all that stuff, it seemed like he was pushing, he was trying to make something happen. So, I do want to put that out. Carson Wentz, please go watch Carson Wentz Indianapolis footage if you want to see who Carson, psychopath. He plays the football like a psychopath.
Mahomes is 30 years old. He's still in his prime. He's got access to the best medical care in the world. And unlike some of the quarterbacks who've struggled after ACL tears, Mahomes' game isn't built entirely on athleticism. Yeah, he scrambles and extends plays, but his pocket presence, his arm talent, his ability to read defenses, that doesn't go away because of a knee injury. If anything, this might force him to become even more of a pure pocket passer, which could extend his career. The realistic timeline, if Mahomes has surgery in the next week or two, he's looking at May or June before he's cleared for any real football activities. Training camp in July would be aggressive, but not impossible. Week 1 availability is possible, but the Chiefs might be smart to give him a few more weeks. Either way, we're looking at a situation where the 2026 season could start without Mahomes at 100%, even if he's technically cleared to play. So what do the Chiefs do now?
And I'm not gonna, y'all can go watch the full episode, figure out what the Chiefs do now. Answer that question down below in the comments. But I do want to say it's pretty interesting that you start the season off for the Chiefs. I felt like they just, whether it's the suspensions and the injuries, I feel like they kind of started behind the 8 ball. It kind of started with Patrick Mahomes trying to pick the pieces up and trying to do what he does best. And now you get to the end of the season, and now Patrick Mahomes is gone. I don't want to call it poetic or anything like that because this is nasty, but it's just interesting to see kind of how that's moved away. Patrick Mahomes is legitimately one of my favorite modern players. I love his story coming from Texas Tech. Go look Texas Tech versus Oklahoma, legendary game. Almost 1,000 yards of offense in that college game. So, just some of the things that I love seeing about, or one of the reasons why I've always enjoyed watching Patrick Mahomes. So I hope that he comes back. I hope we get to see more Patrick Mahomes football. But y'all let me know how y'all feel below in the comments. Like the video, support the main man microphone. Y'all be great. We'll see you next time. Peace.